Hi, welcome back to Comic Book Gallery. I'm your host, Joaquin. You know what day it is, people? It's Wednesday. That means it's New Comic Book Day, the best day of the week. So let's get this show started. If you're new to my channel, hello. And if you like what you see, hit a comment below and hit the subscribe button and also hit the bell so you know about my notifications. Also, in the description below are links to my Instagram, and if you want to support the show, my Patreon. With Patreon, I have a program where I am teaching little kids ages from first to third grade how to draw. And if you look at my playlist, it's broken up into the following sections. One, I do Magic the Gathering content, usually on the weekends, but sometimes they spill over on Monday or Tuesday. Sketchbook Thursday, because I'm an artist, and that's why I also have my Patreon page. And now that I've gotten that information out of the way, on with the show. So, every week, I preach about having a budget and sticking with your budget. So my budget is basically it's like $20 to $25 with tax. And every now and then I go over it slightly. I then take the other 25 and put that aside. And at the end of the month, I take that $100 and I put it into another account. And I use that account to buy off of eBay. And if I don't use the whole 100 for that month, it just rolls over. So after a while, you're going to be able to get some cool books like what I'm doing right now. But let's get back to the Black Order, number 2. First of all, I love these little variant covers. I was able to get the second one of this, so I'm happy. I'm hoping I can, get the whole, if they're doing all 5. I think it's a 5-part miniseries. And each issue is supposed to be a different perspective of the member of the Black Order. So after watching Infinity Wars, I was really interested in this group, and right now they're working for the Grand Master, and I haven't had a chance to read these books yet, but I'm really excited for what I was able to pick up. I spent $31, $32 roughly, so I went like $7 over budget, and I will show you the book that actually put me over budget, and you'll see why I went over budget this week. Sorry, took a drink. I took a sip. My throat's so dry. I've been waiting for this for so long. Ever since I saw it on preview, the covers on the previews, and people talking about it, the Batman Who Laughs. I've been hearing good things. People have been reviewing it. This art is amazing. I mean, you knew that the Dark Knight metal, that this character was popular, that they were going to bring him back. And they did bring him back in Justice League. Or should I say crossed out Legion of Doom. And to get a little miniseries. But, I think down the road, whether or not they do a live action movie, they should do an animated movie that hits the big screen. And I think it would be appropriate. Because they have to do something with this character. There's just so much they can do. And I think it would be better if it was an animation film. I mean, I know they can do a lot of things with CGI, but I don't know. That's just my opinion. Who knows? But either way, I hope they do a movie on this. This character's tight. And I got the second one. I got the variant. I love this. Simple, just black. I might do a painting of this. This would be a cool painting. Nice and structural video. Oh, look at that glare. Oh, sorry about that glare. There we go. And when I had a look, when I bought it, I went looking through, and this one was the best one that they had left, because I didn't get there until this afternoon. And some of these were a little dinged up. And this is the one that didn't have no serious cover breaks. So if I ever wanted to get this book pressed and CGC graded, which I just might. I mean, it's a nice cover. Especially if I can get the artist to sign it, get all 3 artists to sign it, I'll definitely would have that book graded. and probably set to CBCS, because CGC, unless they're there to witness it all, they will charge you for each individual signature unless you can grab at least two of them together, or three, or in this case it'd be four. So yeah, no. I mean, I wish CGC would just pony up and get people who can recognize signatures. It's not that hard. I'm an artist, and just comparing two things that look alike. I mean, an easy way of doing it is just getting a light board and photocopying their signature, and then copying their signature again, and then putting it over a light board, and look how it matches up. Yeah, what do I know? Anyways, Uncanny X-Men #5. So, I saw this variant once again, like last week. It was the last one. So I thought I'd pick it up. I'm really enjoying this series so far. I'm looking forward to reading this book. Oh, I'm so glad that they have relaunched the Uncanny X-Men. I was hopeful that they would be able to do something with X-Men Gold, and then after that whole Kitty Pryde leaving Colossus at the altar just to promote Mr. and Mrs. X-Men made me sick. I stopped reading X-Men Gold, and I picked up a few issues afterwards, but then when I had to start cutting books from my budget, I cut that one. I refused to read Mr. and Mrs. X for what they did. And that's to show you how much of a big X-Men fan and why I didn't approve of that stunt. Alright, now that I've got that rant out of the way, this is kind of turning into a little rant video. I don't want it to. Sorry about that. But this topic comes up, I'd like to give my opinion on it. I do like these covers, these little toy figure covers. Now, I like the artwork and X-Men. Having the Horsemen of Salvation, and this is Angel. Yeah, Angel looks pretty cool. I like it. Overall, great story so far. Hope it continues. Oh, and this is not the book that put me over budget. Batman Damned, book #2. So this book has been anticipated for a while, and everybody's just shocked. It wants to see if there's anything outrageous in there. I flipped through it just for a quick moment before I made this video, just to make sure there wasn't anything too outrageous. And I didn't really find anything, but, let's get back to this book. Great cover. The artwork's amazing. I like the story. I want to see how it ends up. And this is what put me over budget. Because these books are like $7, so with tax, puts me a little bit over like $8, close to $9. Great cover. I couldn't pass this up. Not because I didn't want to have to go look for it on eBay where I'd pay more in shipping. And the place that I'm currently going to right now in Southern California while I'm here visiting my parents, my mother and my sister, there's a comic book store here in Chino called Comic Madness. Great store, great little small old school just comic book store. So they had these for sale. And this store orders a lot of books because they have a lot of variants every week. In some stores they only get one or two and you're fighting people for them. Now you don't have that problem here. In fact, there was still like about, I'll say at least about 5 or 6 copies left of this book in particular. But the X-Men one, they were down. That was the last one. So once again, I was happy to pick that up. I'm looking forward to this read. All these books that I picked up this week, I can't wait to read them. And there were some other books I had to put back. I still haven't picked up Venom #9 or Venom #10. So this is 2 weeks in a row that I haven't been able to pick that up. Hopefully next week now, when things calm down a little bit, I'll be able to pick that up. A couple of other little books that I want to read. I do want to read the Darth Maul book. I saw the variants. Not, they're okay. If I was more of a hardcore Star Wars fan, I probably would have made that a priority over, let's say, the oh, I can't think of their name. The Black Order. Nah, I should know that, but those type of decisions are made, and the reason why that I'm trying to keep to this strict budget is because I'm picking up keys. So you can look at my playlist. I have X-Men runs. I have other books that I feature, but every week while I do my new comic book weeks, I try to also feature a book that I picked up, and I tell you how much I paid for. So drum roll, please. I need some sound effects, people. I need help. X-Men, the Uncanny X-Men 126, In Search of Mutant X. So I'm starting to collect a run of 1 to 300. I thought this was a good run. I remember enjoying reading most of this. I got in around 205, and then I started collecting down a little bit. And before 2000 and around 2000, I had sold off my collection. And I've been a casual collector ever since, coming back, going, taking a break, especially during 2000. There was a lot of stuff I didn't really like. But it wasn't until 2011 that I started to become more of a serious collector. And then I took a break, mostly because financially. So now, fast forward to 2018, and I'm a serious collector now. I'm doing my research. I'm going after these keys that I want. So let's look at this book. I'll give you a close look at it. Love the artwork. Nice little, hey, look who's here, or hello type. And I will take this out so you can see. And I paid $22.50 for this. So, little ding right here. That's all right. It's not, but overall, I'm really happy. A couple of little breaks up here, but I'm still gonna say this probably falls in the fine category. I'm hoping a 7.5 to an 8.0. I won't know until I decide to get this book graded. This right here, because it hasn't broke, all this should be able to get pressed out. But right now, this book for me is, when that gets pressed, I should take care of that. Let me fix that for a second before I put it back in the bag. I don't want to get it messed up. So this book right now, along with the majority of my books that I've been collecting for my X-Men run, are placeholder books. And as I get a better copy, I will be putting these back up on sale for eBay. And my goal is to have my own comic book store. So a lot of these books these keys I'm collecting, they won't go back for resale until I basically doubled what I paid for them. But in this case, with this book, as soon as Disney starts doing all the Marvel books, starts doing all the X-Men and reboots them and introduces them into the MCU, all these books are going to start going up in price, especially X-Men. X-Men has been their flagship comic books for Marvel for the longest time, and it wasn't until the Avenger movie came out that the Avengers are more popular. But if you talk to any comic book collector in the 80s and 90s, X-Men, it was all about X-Men. They had so many books. Avengers at best had maybe 2 or 3 series out at a given time. You had Avengers, you had West Coast Avengers, and maybe some other Avenger group or miniseries. But X-Men during the 90s and early 2000s had all kinds. I think there was like 5 or 6 titles at one point. Because during the 80s and early 90s, there was Uncanny X-Men. And even though that they're not X-Men, you can still count the New Mutants as being part of the team. Then there was X Factor, which was the first group of X-Men, which were Scott Summers, Jean Grey, Iceman, Blob, and Angel. So that's three. And then they introduced Extreme, I want to say, in the late 90s. And um, they they stopped the Uncanny X-Men run. I think they went to the X-Men. So that still cuts it down. You know what? I'd have to really go look this up. I'm just trying to remember off the top of my head, but there was easily 3 to 4, maybe up to 5 series going on at a time. Oh, you had Excalibur. That was another one. So there were a lot of X-Men groups out there because they were selling. Oh, and Wolverine had his own solo title, which continues on to this day, on and off. So that'll do it, people. I just want to make a quick little video talking about New Comic Book Day and, telling you about my system of putting aside money every week and using that extra money to being able to buy keys. This is not a key book. There's nothing that too important about this book I could think of offhand, but it's part of my run that I'm trying to collect. And I suggest that you guys find your own little runs too. If you got your favorite character or team, just start doing your research and start picking up these silver and copper age books or bronze and copper age books. Because right now is the time to get them because they're only going to keep going up and up as time goes on. And that'll do it, people. I hope you enjoyed the show and take care.